Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. Let's try some new makeup. I was so excited because I was wanting to try this. This is the Louboutin foundation, but as you can see, I ordered the wrong shade and I thought they had sent me the wrong shade. No. I ordered the wrong shade. And this is 20W and it is way too deep and way too warm for me. So I have replaced my order. Expect to see that later. Somehow the luxury makeup bug has bit me, and things like this Louboutin foundation are just calling to me. I do have something that falls into that very luxurious price range today for you, but I'm going to start with a couple of new powders. One is this under eye setting powder from Tarte. I've heard good things, as well as the new Rare Beauty. So I'm going to use this under the eyes, this over the rest of my face. The lightest shade they have in the Tarte is the shade Pink. I'm picking it up on this adorable little Tarte puff. I'm going to make sure I don't have any crinkles under the eyes and just kind of run this under here. I've used this once before and I'm a little worried it might be, even though it's the lightest shade, it might be too dark, but we'll see how it goes today. I'm not going to show you application of every bit of makeup I have, just the stuff that's new. I will link everything for you in the description box down below so you can go there and take a look and see what I'm wearing if there's something you're curious about. I do like that it comes with this little place where you can put the puff and put the lid on and it stays like that. I think that's actually really nice. I'm going to dip into this True to Myself tinted pressed powder from Rare. This is the lightest shade in Porcelain. I hope this is a good match. I'm just going to use a clean triangle puff here because there are going to be some places like right here across my forehead that I'm really going to want to make sure I'm pressing this in. And other places I'll just buff it on with a brush. Now I'm just going to pick it up with a brush and kind of lightly tap it on everywhere else. I don't want a really heavy layer of this, but what I'm looking for is for my foundation to be set for today. I was a little worried that this might end up oxidizing. I don't think it does. I'm looking at my face. I even had a little bit of darkness from the pink powder, so I don't know about this one, but this one here is looking really good. I think this might have to be one that I try under the eyes, but I thought I would try this one today since it's supposed to be an under eye setting powder. I feel like the pink though is too dark. I wish they had kind of like a pale beigey shade. That would probably be ideal for me. So as I continue to dabble my feet in the luxury makeup pool, I decided it was time to pick up one of these. This is from Hermes, and this is one of their eyeshadow quads. This is number 6, Ombre Mortuaire. I'm not going to say it again because I don't speak French. I'm just doing my best here. But I'm really excited to see what these look like. Some people are complaining about the fact that we've got square pans and round pans. That doesn't really bother me. I do feel like this little touch here is very nice. I like that it's a magnetic closure. There's no actual clasp, so you can easily pull it apart. I think that I'm kind of expecting it to be a little heavier weight-wise, but it's not bad. It also comes in this little dust bag here. You know, I'm not going to keep it in here, but in here I did find they do include a little makeup brush. And this one actually, oh, this one feels really nice. Now, there's no place in the palette for the brush. So if you're going to use the brush, you got to keep it in the dust bag. And then you got to keep the dust bag close enough to put this here in it. And am I likely to do that? No. For $108, I can't tell you how glad I didn't get a sponge tip applicator and a really uncomfortable scratchy brush. This one feels really nice. The ones that I got from Dior were okay. The ones that I got from YSL at that $69 price point really felt like if you were to dig in there, like the brush would actually like destroy the powder. So just for funsies, let's see if we can get some of the eyeshadow on with this teeny tiny little brush. I don't know if it's a good idea, but let's give it a try. Okay, so this is going to be an exercise in frustration for me, and I choose no. Could you do it if you were desperate? I feel like what I really need though is a regular size makeup brush to really get this look going, or we'll be here all day with that little guy. But it is soft. Does it work? Yes. Is it the first thing I'm going to reach for? Absolutely not. But to me, it's not a mockery of a makeup tool. It is a tiny makeup tool, but that's what I expect with a small eyeshadow palette, is a small tool. But I definitely feel like it's a step up from what I've been getting from other luxury palettes. Oddly enough, the $25 Beauty Pie one comes with a double-ended brush that is just as soft as this, fits in the palette, and you can actually use it to build a look. I think if I really wanted to, I could, but I don't have time for that today. I did not start with any eyeshadow primer. I purposefully do that every time I'm trying a formula for the first time. I want to see how it wears and how it applies on a bare lid. So there's no skincare on my lid. I feel like it's just a little bit patchy here. And this probably would be easily solved by, you know, putting down a primer, setting it with powder, and then going over it this way. But I want to know all the ins and outs, the good, the bad, the ugly, you know, the perfect. It's a very, very pretty color. I'm going to use a little bit of that same shade on the lower lash line. And then I'm just going to take some time to blend it out. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this darkest shade here. I'm really anxious to dip into those metallic shades. I think this is the only palette out of all of them that doesn't include a satin. It has 2 metallic shades and no satin shade. But for me, I was looking at the shades. Out of all of them, this was the one I think I could get the most use out of. I feel like, you know, the depth from the brown in here, the burgundy, and the metallic shades in here would work not just for my skin tone, but also the sorts of shades that would go with a lot of things. Because if I'm going to spend upwards of $100 on an eyeshadow palette, I need it to be extremely versatile. And getting the blue one, it's just not going to work for me. Ooh, aren't these pretty? Just gonna tap a little bit of this on the lid here. This is definitely more color than I got from the metallics from Dior. As I'm swirling my finger in the pan, they feel a little bit more emollient and a little bit creamier. There's certainly more pigmentation here. Although the formula and the feel is different, I'm getting the same level of like metallic and pigmentation as I'm getting from the YSL, the Mini Couture Clutch. My goal has been to go through and try more and more and more of these luxury brands and really see whether it's worth it, you know, to fork out the cash, or are we paying just for the name. I've got the lightest shade on this little teeny tiny detail brush here, and I'm going to hit the inner corner with this light kind of bone shade. I'm just reinforcing some of the metallic gold on the lid here. I'm using an old MAC brush. I would tell you what it is, but I can't tell. Most of it has rubbed off, but this is before they went vegan, so I think this is natural hair, which is why I like it and I've kept it because it works so well. If you're looking for a brush that's similar, might I recommend the number 21 brush from Rougher. This is almost identical, looks, feels, and works just the same. I feel like this eye look got away from me just a little bit, so I'm going to take just a little bit of this powder from Rare, and I'm just going to go right along the edge to diffuse. I think that burgundy and that darker brown shade are so saturated, and I have been working recently with more desaturated eyeshadows, ones that are softer, that aren't quite as opaque and aren't quite as pigmented. I mean, pigment is no joke on these. I feel like it's really nice. I also like the fact that I'm not getting any significant amount of texture. There's really no texture to speak of on the lid, which I really like, because as somebody who's nearing my 50th birthday in January, what I don't want is a powder eyeshadow or anything that's metallic on my lid to make my lid look crepey, dry, like a lizard person. You know, that's not what I'm going for. I'm going to finish this eye look up with liner and mascara, and we'll come back for a few lipsticks. I'm so grateful that Queen Musia reached out and offered to send me 3 of their lipsticks. These are, I mean, the packaging is absolutely stunning. These are the matte cream lipsticks from Queen Musia. There are 6 shades. I have 3 of them. I am so excited to try these on. Not only is the packaging stunning, but these are supposed to have 7 different oils and butters to help hydrate and nourish your skin. They're vegan. They are the sort of lipsticks that sound exactly like what I'm looking for. A matte lipstick that is comfortable and nourishing. I'm going to start with this shade. This is the shade Montreux. Okay, this has a really beautiful and comfortable glide to it as you're applying it to the lips. I don't know that this color is perfect for the eye look that I have on, but I'm really liking this formula. By the way, these are available on the Queen Musia website. You can also pick them up at other places. I saw that they're available on Nordstrom. They're $36. The next one I'm going to throw on is the shade Ada. Oh wow, I really like this shade. It feels so nice on the lips. I'm trying to think of what this formula feels similar to. It doesn't really feel like the Chanel mattes. It doesn't feel like the Lisa Eldridge mattes. It doesn't really feel like a Tom Ford matte. Or a Charlotte, well, maybe it's the closest to the Charlotte Tilbury. But I really like how it feels on my lips. It's not tacky, it's not sticky, but it also doesn't feel drying. Now it all comes down to how it wears. So I'll leave you wear notes in the description box down below. The one that I thought would look best with this look is called Becky Sharp. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love it. This is certainly a My Lips But Better shade. This shade in Becky Sharp is perfect. It also really reminds me of the book Vanity Fair. You know, Becky Sharp is the title character in that, and that kind of makes me happy. They have other shades like Dorian, and I was like, ooh. And I'm really impressed by the fun names that they came up with for these. But this Becky Sharp shade, I feel like is like my perfect pink. It's not really new. It is a really soft pink, but it's very wearable and it's not too much. Now these other shades in Montreux and Ada, I really feel like would be gorgeous on the lips if I was wearing a warmer look. If I was reaching for my Natasha Denona Golden palette or something that had a little bit more warmth to it and I put on a cool blush today because I was like, there's burgundy in this their eyeshadow. So I was trying to match, you know, this shade here to my blush. And I feel like this shade of lipstick is just perfection. I like that I don't feel like I need a lip liner with these. They look really good. They feel really good. I feel like this turned out really good. I like the way that the eyeshadows look. I think these are nice. I'm really curious to see how they're gonna wear without an eyeshadow primer. I feel like this is really beautiful on the skin. It looks skin-like. It's not too heavy. I'm a little concerned about the Tarte setting powder, mainly because as I was packing the pink on, I really wasn't packing it on. I had a light layer, but as I was using that little triangular puff to spread it on underneath my eyes, I did notice that it made my concealer just get a hair darker. I feel like taking a little bit of this over the top kind of helped to bring it all together, but I did notice it was just making my under eye concealer just a hair darker, and that might be because I'm wearing a very fair shade of foundation concealer, and maybe it's going to be fine for most people, but if you have really fair skin, just something to keep in mind. I like these. Not only do I love the packaging, which is, I mean, it's stunning. It's so interesting. It's so different. I like the way they look. I like the way they feel. I also like the closure on these. They're just a snap closure, but even this portion here is green. I feel like it's a really beautiful touch. And then the fact that any way you put this on, once it lines up, it goes in. It has kind of like this, what is this, octagonal packaging in through here that matches this portion in through here. And so as you put it in together, it doesn't matter whether it's lined up this way or you turn it and it's lined up this way, it's always going to continue that line down. And that to me is just lovely. I'm sure that if I pull this out of my purse somewhere, someone's going to ask me, ooh, what is that? I've never seen that before, because it's a really interesting packaging design. It does feel very luxe. It does feel very good and nice in the hand. It's not terribly weighty, but I can see why they're charging $36 for these. For me, it's the formula. The formula is just so comfortable. I will leave those wear notes for you in the description box down below, letting you know how the eyeshadow wore, how the lips wore. Am I liking the powders? At the end of the day, did it make my under eyes drier? We'll take a look at all of that, also in a makeup updates. Love to know what your favorite brand is from those luxury brands, or if you're just like, no, I'm never spending that much on makeup. Tell me why in the comment section down below. Thanks for making time to watch today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.